That passion, that energy, that conviction, certainly we got to channel it in the right ways. We got to channel it to bring us together, not separate us. But golly, if we get that thing united, what can we accomplish together? That's why I'm here. That's what excited me.
Welcome into our CitrusTV studios for this special report alongside Gino Antimarino. I'm Avin. Gino, this isn't breaking news per se. If you're watching this, you already probably know. We gave it away a little bit, but it certainly is special because yesterday was the introductory press conference for Syracuse's new athletic director, Bryan Blair, and there's a lot of hype right now, and the excitement was definitely there.
Yeah, I think Blair really nailed the, I don't want to say an interview but it was sort of an interview with the journalists.
The whole fan base as well.
The whole fan base, and I thought he nailed it. I thought, he brought up a lot of good points, and one of the things that really stood out to me was him talking about weaponizing the dome and just sort of the new ideas that he's willing to bring into this program, Adam. And I think him, along with the chancellor and Haney, two guys that are really visionaries that want to take Syracuse to the next level and also remember the past and how great it was. Exactly.
Senior screen as well. Adrian Autry was let go as the men's basketball coach. Going to be one of the first big decisions that he'll have to make as athletic director. But let's hear from Mike Haney, our SU chancellor-elect, who will be assuming the position after Ken Severed leaves for Michigan. He says Bryan Blair is the athletics leader for the moment and for the future of Syracuse University. He's a fierce competitor who knows how to build winning programs, a visionary who approaches the business of college athletics with genuine creativity and ingenuity. That is exactly the type of person that Mike Haney is as well. He's looking for people to be game changers here at Syracuse. Not only has he done so much with his time at the university, he's been here 20 years, but he's looking for someone that now he can work alongside with for the next 20 years and build that relationship because obviously, Gino, we know how important college athletics is now in this day and age.
100%. And you can feel the warmth right as soon as Blair took the stage and took the podium. It was very much like, hey, Coach Jack, good luck, going and competing in the NCAA tournament. Right. He shouted out Fran Brown. Like, you can tell there's already a little bit of a relationship between him and the coaching staff. Yeah. So that's obviously the biggest importance right now with college athletics. You got to make sure that everyone feels welcome and everyone's happy with the program.
And he's wearing his orange tie. He got his pin on already. He's already bleeding orange, which is what Syracuse fans want to see. And our very own Sam Reese was there at his introductory press conference to give everybody a little bit of insight into who Bryan Blair is as an athletic director. Take a listen.
Well, it's no secret that we're in the midst of a lot of changeover within Syracuse Athletics. A new AD, a new chancellor, and soon to be a new men's basketball coach. But while all of that's going on, this morning here at Myron Victory Court marked a moment of optimism and a look towards what the future has in store, and that's because it was the introductory press conference for the new athletic director, Bryan Blair. And at the forefront of his remarks, he stressed the importance of attacking NIL.
NIL is one of the most, if not the most important aspects of what we do. If we don't have talented student athletes and we can't win and be competitive, we can't drive the commercial enterprise to feed this entire ecosystem. We've got to be crystal clear on that. This is not a will I'll do it or maybe I'll do it. It's that we have to do it for our survival and our ability to thrive going forward, right? So we're going to make sure we modernize that enterprise.
And of course, the big question right now is who will be the next head coach of Syracuse men's basketball, and that's a search that's already underway.
I know the elephant in the room is the basketball search, right? I understand we have a lot of questions about that. The reality is that process is well underway. We've got a great pool of candidates. We're really excited about the progress, and then I think we'll have something to share soon here, relatively soon. So we'll give a timeline. Don't want to go in depth on that piece of it out of respect to many of the coaches that are still playing in the tournament, but hope to be able to share that with you shortly.
So while Blair just arrived to Syracuse, it's obvious that he's already making an impact, but his tenure doesn't officially begin until July 1st. That's when current athletic director John Wildhack will officially retire after a decade long in the role. Reporting from Myron Victory Court at the JMA Wireless Dome, Sam Reese, CitrusTV.
Thanks so much, Sam. Yeah, the 2 points that really stood out to me was him talking about modernizing Syracuse as a program, and you can see his track record there, and I think that's the most important thing, right? There's so many people that are caught up in the old ways of Syracuse, but what Blair has done at Toledo and modernizing that program and making it prevalent in today's day of athletics, there's no reason he can't do that here in Syracuse with just a step up for his resume. And the other thing, obviously talking about the next men's basketball head coach, two things that Syracuse sport fans, they want to see and they want to know.
Well, obviously, he started back at Rice in 2014. That's where he really got his start, and he's worked his way up. He has been in college athletics in different types of positions, Gino, seeing the change that is happening around. And we're going to get into the NIL in a little bit, but you see the 13 MAC championships at Toledo, what he did there, a mid-major program that is playing in different playoffs, that is competing for conference championships. At Syracuse, we know it's a different era, we know it's a different game, but the fact that he's trying to continuously uplift programs, starting at the bottom, he gets to Toledo, now he's taking a step up to Syracuse, he's in the Power 4 now. It's a big change, but this is a guy that Mike Haney and the rest of Syracuse believe can lead Syracuse athletics for a long time.
Yeah, you see the 282% increase in major gifts. You pair that with the 13 MAC championships in 3 years. Listen, it's really important to have that NIL money and to have that rev share going to the right places and bringing in the right people. But it's just that, right? Bringing in the right people, because at the end of the day, you can pay whoever you want to pay, but at the end of the day, like I said, you have to win. So I think this speaks volumes for Blair and what he's accomplished. Not only can he raise money, but he does it in the right way, and it contributes to winning programs.
It exactly does. And the other day, in the crowd of the introductory press conference was all the famous Syracuse celebrities that you want to see, including former Syracuse head men's basketball coach Jim Boeheim, who joined Q Sports Talk to give his thoughts on Bryan Blair.
100% impressive. Probably as impressive as anybody I've seen in that position or any position come in and take over and explain what he wants to do.
I mean, I don't disagree with Coach Boeheim there either. You hear Bryan Blair talk, he's already so passionate about the possibility of the things that he could do here at Syracuse, Gino. And the big thing that you mentioned quickly was that 282% increase in NIL and money there at Toledo. The second largest gift in school history. I can't believe that there's something bigger than that, but a $75 million plan to develop their facilities there and make them a powerhouse, yes, in the mid-major tier, but bring them on the national stage. Signing big partnerships to create a large NIL collective. They're the only school in the MAC with an NIL collective and an executive in their front office specifically for NIL purposes. That is because of the visionary that Bryan Blair is, and I expect to see, at least personally, just an increase in that, because this is what he's shown that he can do.
Right. And I think what Blair brings, what I was really impressed with, was his appreciation for Syracuse as a program in the past and where it can go. You talk about the NIL, we talk about the gifts and the millions of dollars that he raised at Toledo. That's his goal, right? That's what he wants Syracuse to be. You have to have money in order to compete. You heard him talk about that at the beginning of this, and I think that's what he's talking about, but also cherishing what Syracuse used to be and having Jim Boeheim still in that advisory role. There hasn't really been a change since Wildhack departed. I imagine he's still going to be there, and even Blair said that Boeheim came up to him and said, whatever you need from me, you're my boss, I'll listen, and Blair was all ears, and he was all smiles going over that story. So I think to have someone like that in Blair's presence will certainly just keep reminding him of the history of Syracuse, but also Blair's future of things to come.
Well, and obviously Syracuse basketball is where the eyes are on right now. Nobody knows who the head coach is going to be, even though he did give a little bit of insight saying there are some coaches still in the tournament. Cough, Jerry McNamara, for anybody listening. Sienna just exited, so we'll see maybe in the coming days on who the new men's basketball head coach will be, Gino. But the quick number that you saw a little bit earlier, 13 MAC championships, that's across a lot of the sports at Toledo there, just showing that, yes, the NIL resources for football and men's basketball, incredibly crucial, because those are the programs we know across college athletics that bring in the bulk of the money for different schools. But the fact that Toledo as a whole was winning a lot and doing it well proved that they can compete with any of the other schools in their conference and from around the country when it comes to playoff time, and that's what Syracuse fans want to see here as a member of the Orange.
Yeah, and I think it's important that Blair comes from a football background, and I think that's important to have someone with that history and that knowledge to be the one steering where the funds are going to go, because obviously Syracuse's bread and butter is basketball. That's never going to change.
The brand.
But with Syracuse wanting to be competitive in both football and men's basketball, you have to take that into account. And now with football, obviously, because there's more players, it's more competitive, you have to make sure that the majority of that money is going towards football, and basketball is obviously getting a good chunk. So the fact that Blair has that football background, I think is going to be a positive thing for Syracuse.
He acknowledged in his press conference and when he initially first got the job a little over a week ago, saying this isn't a school where you can pick and choose either football or basketball. You have to do both at a very high level, and he wants to make Syracuse the brand in college athletics at its peak across all of the sports here on campus. It's a really exciting time for Syracuse. For Gino Antimarino, I'm Avin. Thanks so much for joining us on this very quick special report as Bryan Blair heads up Syracuse Athletics for the near future.